Okay. Hi, Lauren. How are you? It's
Hi,
good
good
to it's good
afternoon,
to have you on.
Koray.
Thank you. It's good to
Merhaba.
have you on the podcast today.
Thank
Uh,
you. Thank you for inviting me.
thank you. Yeah, thank you for taking the time and joining today. It's a big pleasure for me to have you here on this podcast. I wanted to connect with you to really understand in these very challenging days of travel how Aman sees the world. What is the current trends? What do you see in the next month to come? Are we going to be able to travel this summer? Are we going to be able to experience Aman this summer or even the winter, which is in the next few weeks? So in just maybe very short summary, I want to make sure that the people who are desperately in need of travel to know if they can soon and how the Aman sees this. But before we come to that point, I really would like you to give a background information, a little bit story or maybe history about Aman. So the word is yours.
Okay, great. Thank you, Koray. So as you know, Koray, Aman started in 1988. Aman means peace, peaceful in Sanskrit. And we started at Amanpuri on the west coast of Phuket in Thailand. The adventure started there, first as a private villa, and our founder decided to build a resort next to the several villas to basically service the villas. So Amanpuri now has 40 pavilions and 40 residencies, so which are privately owned. And the philosophy started there, and it's now everywhere at the 33 destinations. It's all about privacy. It's all about amazing location. It's all about great architecture signed by famous and renowned architects such as Ed Tuttle, such as Jean-Michel Gatti, Kerry Hill, John He, etc., etc. And it's all about the experiences. The experiences can be cultural. We are nearby a lot of UNESCO protected sites, such as Aman Rüya, for instance, in Turkey, or Aman Jiwo in Borobudur. It can be active with skiing or wellness or yoga. It can be really spiritual, especially in Bhutan, Aman Kora, or Indonesia or Indochina, etc. It can also be families. You can spend some quality time for your family, and all our destinations, wherever they are, they offer these philosophy.
Well, when hearing the names of some of your resorts, I've spent, I think it's been 6 years or maybe a little more that we went to Aman in Bhutan, one of the best trips that I ever had in my whole life. It was a fantastic experience in terms of the Aman experience, but also with the destination, the spiritual experience that I had in Bhutan was truly unique to me. Well, most people do know, or sometimes do feel the Aman is always in the exotic destinations, and they're not really in the cities. They're not in there. What do you say about that? Obviously, like one of my favorite Aman in terms of architecture, because you did mention the architecture has a big value in the Aman philosophy, is in Venice, which I love the property in Venice in terms of architecture. What do you think? Where those Amans are located, and what's the vision of Aman in terms of opening hotels and managing the hotels that are existing?
So in terms of locations, as mentioned, we started, in a very, let's say, secret and secluded area in Phuket, and then we went to Indonesia, then we went to Indochina, the Philippines, on the private island of Amanpulo, where it's like, a private island with only one resort, and that's it. So very, very private and very exclusive and very peaceful destinations. And then less than 10 years ago, we opened Aman Tokyo, Aman Venice, and they are in the city centers with a different concept, because the first Amans and the most Amans are more like what we call horizontal. It means that you have an independent pavilion or casita or casa or pavilion or maison or residence or villa, often with a swimming pool and no neighbors, or neighbors are far away. And now with the new concepts of Aman Tokyo, Aman Venice, and now later this year, Aman New York, you are in iconic destinations, iconic buildings, urban destinations. Obviously, New York and Tokyo are big cities but we can still manage to offer the Aman peaceful experience because of the size of the rooms, because of the limited number of units, what we call keys in the business. For instance, in Venice, it's only 24 units, suites and rooms. New York would be 83, Tokyo is 84. So for these destinations, it's really, really limited. And the rooms are minimum for New York 7 and Tokyo 70 square meters. So you can still have the experience you would have at Amanpuri or Indonesia or even Amanruya in Bodrum.
I mean, I was going to ask this question, but it was going to be more in the end. But since you've mentioned about the New York, it is one of the Aman properties that creates excitement all over the travel industry and all over the travelers probably. Of course, it's unimaginable to think quietness in New York in normal times. What would you want to tell about New York Aman that is, I believe, planned to open towards the end of this year, maybe?
Correct. No, earlier than that, spring this year, so 2021, let's say less than 6 months. So first, it's all about the location. You know it. I mean, you've been to Venice, and it's all about the location. So as much as Venice is a 16th century palazzo with only 24 rooms and suites, Aman, New York is in the Crown Building, which you might know, which is one of the iconic skyscrapers from 1921. So almost as famous as the Empire State Building or Rockefeller Center or the Chrysler Building, if you know New York very well. So basically, it's the fourth most famous building, original buildings in Manhattan. The location is amazing. 57th Street, 5th Avenue. I mean, you couldn't dream of a better corner. The environment is great. I mean, it's all about luxury shopping with Vuitton, Van Cleef, Cartier, Tiffany, and so on. Very close to the park. I mean, some rooms and suite and residences, will have park views. And just, it's a 1921 building, but with 2021 Aman interior design or architecture signed by Jean-Michel Gatti. Funny enough, the same architect as Venice.
From Venice, yes.
Exactly. Or Sveti Stefan in Montenegro, which is also very popular in Turkey. Or also Amanyara in Turks and Caicos, or Amanoi in Vietnam. So one of our superstars in terms of architects. And he wanted to recreate, or we, together with our chairman, they wanted to recreate the Aman experience in the heart of one of the busiest city centers in the world. And here again, rooms 70 square meters, residences, some have 6 bedrooms, for instance, on the top of the building.
Wow.
A lot of residences have a private terrace with a heated swimming pool on top of the building. We'll have a swimming pool like for the hotel residents or guests of 20 meters on the 10th floor. Remember, it's a building which is 100 years old or young. So it's a brand new concept in a historical iconic building. And it will be, the experiences we're working on, and also of course, the limited number of guests, the privacy will be really, really high. And even if you are, in the city center, you will have a very peaceful and relaxing environment.
Well, I can't really wait to experience the silence in New York when you're at the hotel and you go out. Finally, we meet again the hustle and buzz of the city. Now, from New York, I'd like to ask: as the ski season, actually, we are in the middle of ski season, normal times.
There is snow.
Yes, but that's the normality. I remember the days that we skied in Courchevel together right after we experienced the limousine there, which was a truly magical experience that we had. It was unlike any other hotel experience in Courchevel. Anyways, when is the doors are opening to ski? Maybe in your case, as your hotels in Courchevel to France. So what does Aman see? And what does Aman would like to tell to people from Turkey when they can ski, and if they can go to skiing? What does Aman think about this?
So first, we have 3 ski destinations. So Aman Ghani was the first one to open in Jackson Hole in the US. So for those who can go already in the US, it's a great destination. There's plenty of snow and it's open. Then for closer to us in Europe, we have 2 ski destinations. Aman-le-Malaisin, of course, in Courchevel 1850, which will reopen on the 5th of February. And also Rosalpina, which is a new Aman partner, as you know, and we will reopen mid-February. So we are ready to welcome guests for those who can come. And there is plenty of snow, even like there was a big snowfall yesterday, so that's great news. And also we've been very creative because we know it's complicated because for the moment the ski lifts are not reopened. That's why we're not opening the hotel. But for whatever reason, if the ski lifts don't reopen before or when we reopen, in the meantime, let's say they open mid-February and we open the 5th of February. In the meantime, we have been creative and we will launch today a new offer when we include a ski instructor who will be able to take couples or families or the children one side and another instructor, the parents, either skiing, because some pistes will be open, the ski lifts will be closed, but we will put shuttles for guests to be driven up from the lower part of the resort to up to the altiport. And then guests will be able to ski down and then we will drive them up. Similarly, if the guests think they want to only ski in the morning, but they want in the afternoon to do something else, the same ski instructor, who will be an experienced expert or butler, will take them snowshoeing or trekking in the mountains. As you know, the environment is fantastic. Also, they will have initiation to cross-country skiing, or maybe if children want to start ice skating, for instance, they'll take them to the ice rinks. That's why we'll have an experienced expert, and they will be able to have access, including the rate, to many, many winter sports.
Okay, so correct. So if I'm understanding correctly, first of all, if the lifts don't work for some reason, which is not expected, but let's say if it did not work, then Aman will transport guests with his own private shuttles to certain points, to certain slopes, that the guests can ski down from those slopes.
Exactly.
And in addition to just being creative, you've also offered alternative experiences that your clients, that your guests can experience with their families, with the kids or without the kids, other experiences during their time that they're spending at the mountain. Am I understanding correctly?
Perfectly, yes. So, and these are the experiences that are included in the rate. Of course, for guests who want to experience other activities such as snowmobile, dog sledding, and also helicopter flights or hot air balloons, of course there's a cost on top with what we say participation, but you can do that as well because this is going to work. Everything is going to work. And for Christmas, for instance, a lot of people in Courchevel did that. We were not open, but people who have a chalet or have an apartment there, that's what they did.
Okay, super. And from your perspective, I know you're opening mid-February or 1st of February, but from your point of view, what is the safest time to come? Like when I say safest, it means that you are mostly sure that the lifts will be open. More mid-February, like anybody who would want to say, I want to be on the safe side and I can delay for 2 weeks to go skiing, but let me try when? Mid-February, 3rd week of February?
So unfortunately, I can't guarantee it because I'm not part of the government. There is a new announcement by the French government on the 20th, so next week, confirming when ski lifts will reopen. So in the meantime, this is our offer. Of course, we believe that later in February or in March, we'll have the ski lifts reopen because the situation will be better, mass vaccination and so on. Also to also precise on Le Mélézin, as you remember, Corail, usually we offer half board with a selection of 6 dining venues and restaurants for lunch or dinner. In the unlikely event we can't open these restaurants at some point in the season, maybe when we start on the 5th of February, we won't be able to accept guests in other restaurants. The restaurants will come to Aman Le Mélézin, meaning that usually you have the Nama Japanese restaurant, but also you have access to another menu, which is from Le Chalet Pierre, which is on the runs, as you may remember, or Pierrot Tété, which is a luxury Italian restaurant by Pierre Gagnère, usually served at Les Erelles. So all these restaurants will come to Aman Le Mélézin, so you have a full experience, even if you can't have a dinner out of the hotel.
Okay, super. Well, you've always, you've been creative. That's what I
Very,
understand.
very
And
creative. We want to.
I hope people will still.
Yes, yes, yeah, but we're
And
ready.
March is
We're ready. Sorry.
And March also a good time to
March.
ski.
Yeah, March is the best. When I can,
Best.
I'd go in March.
I agree. I agree. Now, for more your European hotels or your Asian hotels, or maybe your hotels in globally, when do you think we will be back in normal traveling standards? Like we can go anywhere we want to. What is the Aman's expectation in that?
So what we can see at our different destinations is that first, the local governments are also very keen to reopen borders. And we are, of course, ready whenever the borders reopen. So for instance, if you remember, we offer for Aman Indonesia, so 5 properties, as you know, in Bali, but also on Java, close to Borobudur, and also on Moyo Island. So we have 5 destinations in Indonesia. And we offer the help for the e-visa, electronic visas, because at the moment, visas are suspended. And so from the end of January, we'll be able to assist or help agents or travelers to to subscribe or to with the administration of these visas. So technically, from the end of January, anyone can enter Indonesia as long as staying with Aman. So that's great news. In terms of other countries, Sri Lanka should reopen their airports later this month, but they still have a quarantine and we're not one of the official quarantine hotels. So there's still a quarantine, so that's great for long stays. Same with Thailand. If you want to go for your clients or for travelers who want to stay 2 or 3 months in Thailand and spend the winter there, you have a 2-week quarantine somewhere at the airport in a nice hotel, but not with us. And then you can stay, you can access, you can enter the country. So for long stays, there are loopholes here and there. Then some other destinations, such as Amankora in Bhutan, we have no information because the country is very closed, also to protect their population because they couldn't cope maybe with high cases. So for the moment, we have no updates. So it depends on the destinations. We hope that Japan will reopen for the spring. We have great expectations. I can't guarantee it, unfortunately. And otherwise in the spring, I mean, Europe should work. We are expecting to open as normal Aman Ruya, Bodrum, Aman Zoe in Greece, Aman Sveti Stefan, Montenegro. Aman Jena and Marrakesh is open now, and I know that there are more and more flights between Istanbul and Morocco, and you can technically go. So that's an option that you can access now. And also the Caribbean, technically, if you can access probably going in transit somewhere, the Caribbean, the airports are open to anyone with a negative test. So that's a lot of open destinations.
Yeah, I agree. So, I mean, I think the travel industry in general has started to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I personally believe maybe some with ski period, maybe, in March, and maybe more as of April and May. I believe we will all be able to start traveling back again. Yes. And we missed so much. And everybody has been saying around the world, the people that I talk to in Turkey and around the globe, there is a huge pent-up demand.
Oh,
so people are really looking forward to travel. Everybody is really tired of, I think, staying home, both for business and for pleasure reasons. We're so much used to traveling now. This doesn't fit in us anymore.
I know, and from our experience in 2020, we saw it, as soon as we reopened and it was possible for travelers to enter the countries, we did amazing seasons. Aman Ruya in Bodrum, as you know, Aman Zoe in Greece worked really well. Also the Caribbean, obviously. Also India, because guests really want to travel, and if you can't go very far, at least, but you stay in your region, or you go to the country next door. So we've seen it. As soon as we open and the borders open, guests come.
I actually did experience that firsthand in Turkey, here in Bodrum. I think you have one of the most beautiful Amans here in Bodrum in Turkey. Some people know it, some people don't know it. Some people, they're so used to travel abroad, they're not really noticing the one in Turkey, in Bodrum. But Bodrum Aman, and I did stay there this year in the summertime, has had one of its best years. I think due to the demand coming from domestically, from Turkey.
Correct.
Plus, the countries who were not able to go to Europe as the doors were closed in Europe, they all came down to Turkey, Bodrum, and Aman was one of the most preferred hotels in Bodrum, which to me, by the way, is Aman's philosophy is architecture. One of the greatest values in Aman's philosophy is architecture. The architecture of Aman Rüya in Bodrum is truly one of the finest in Bodrum, if not the finest. And I know the architects, the daughter and father, who was behind the architectural design of the property, and they had one of the best years this year, to my understanding, and to my talks that I had with the people who are working at the Aman Rüya Bodrum. What are your thoughts on this?
So I agree. Thank you for the compliment about Aman Rüya, peaceful dream. One of my favorite properties, just because the concept, like any Aman, as mentioned earlier, it's all horizontal. In the case of Aman Rüya, it's only 34 pavilions, stone pavilions, so built in stone, each with a private pool. So even a couple who usually, would stay in a room in a hotel with a small balcony, here you have your own mini villa with a swimming pool, often with at least partial sea view, ideally full sea view, beautiful environment, and also only 20 minutes from Bodrum, but so not too far from the, the busy bars and so on, but you're really far from it all because, it's very peaceful, it's very relaxing. You can only hear the cicadas, which is my favorite noise in all songs in the world, and also you have the pine trees, it smells nice. And you're only 20 minutes, but you're really far and you can't see any other resorts. I know that I've seen other properties in Bodrum. You have a lot of beautiful properties in Bodrum, but you don't feel you are in a private environment. You feel you can see the neighbors. You can see other resorts. Even if you take the top unit, the top suites or the top villa, you can see other guests. You are a bit, overlooked. Whereas at Aman Rüya, not at all. That's the beauty of it. And of course, as you said, the architecture of the Turkish architects as well. They did a wonderful job to preserve the privacy. To give you an example, there's an outdoor shower, which is not only for when you use the swimming pool in the morning, you can have your shower there because it's so private that you have walls when you need to have walls, and then nobody can see you. So that's fantastic.
No, it's truly unique. I mean, I actually, from anybody who is studying architecture in Turkish universities, I actually would suggest them to go and really understand the philosophy behind the architecture that they built in there. Yes, exactly. Aman Rüya, that does not, Bodrum is sometimes a lot of perceived as it's a hustle and bustle, nightlife and stuff. Yes, Aman is a bit offers different experience than that, but it's still close to those experiences. But the experience that you're having at the Aman, which I believe Turkish people discovered this year, where international people already knew, was phenomenal. And I do believe they'll come back. Well, Laurent, thank you very, very much for joining me today for the podcast. I am sure people who will listen to this podcast will appreciate your comments and your vision and your thoughts about the trend and for all the information that you provided to us. But anything last that you'd like to mention?
There's so much to say, since 1988, a lot has happened. I wanted also to share with you that Aman is a 360 brand because now we have the resorts, the hotels, but also the residencies to buy or to rent for the duration of the holiday. But also because we want the guests to also keep the benefits of an Aman stay or also to experience Aman, even at the moment, if it's complicated to go to some Aman destinations. That's why we launched also Aman skincare, Aman fine fragrances, Aman candles, Aman food supplements, and even a fashion line for, let's say, Aman fans or Aman addicts or, regular guests to really bring the experience and continue the benefits of a stay at home. And similarly, as well as you know, Koray, we have the Aman Jet, which can take you from one Aman to another. For instance, you could go to Aman Rüya from Aman Rüya Bodrum to Aman Jeddah Marrakesh with the Aman Jet. So you can start the Aman experience from the home airport, from the departure airport until the home airport on the way back. So for a seamless Aman experience. So we want to go beyond that. That's why we offer more and more residencies, of course, in New York, but also soon in Bangkok, in Miami, in Niseko, in Japan, and also in terms of experiences, we want to continue the adventure, continue being pioneers with the opening of 3 properties in Alula, in Saudi Arabia. You know, it's a new destination, a fantastic UNESCO listed destination, and we are going to be the first ones to open luxury hotels there.
Congratulations. Well,
thank you.
Yeah, Aman is growing, and I see that as a brand, you're being creative not only in accommodation, but you're opening up the other fashion areas. And I'm sure Aman is going to make it. You have very solid philosophy and beautiful people that we work, tirelessly to make the brand, to bring the brand to a better level. So congratulations on that. And thank you again, Laura.
Thank you, Koray. And just to finish, we've always been set up for what's happening in the world, with the privacy and, small number of units all apart from each other, very horizontal. So wherever you stay at an Aman, as you know, you don't feel that it's busy, even if it's full, you don't feel it's busy. You don't really see a lot of guests. So that's perfectly in line with what luxury travelers are expecting now.
Believe me, we look forward to our next Aman experience. We dream for it.
I'll see you there.
And we will be there soon, hopefully.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Laura.
Take care. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye.